Women's Hospital, where we can give a holistic approach to the health of the woman. After this panel discussion, we will go to the hospital. You will have a round of the hospital, and I think and I'm sure you'll appreciate the way it has been done, and I need the cooperation and blessings of you all. Thank you so much.
Dr. Bajaj. I would now like to introduce our moderator, Dr. Neeta. Dr. Neeta Dabai is postgraduate doctor specialized in obstetrics and gynecology. She is working as a senior consultant in Metro and SRS Sunflag Hospitals in Faridabad. She has over 21 years of clinical experience in India and abroad. Her special areas of interest are high-risk obstetrics, menopausal medicine, and adolescent health. Dr. Neeta has done her MBBS and MS in obstetrics and gynecology from SMS Medical College, Jaipur, Rajasthan, and senior residency from Dr. R.M. Hospital, New Delhi. After that, she trained and worked at University College of Medical Sciences, Cardiff, Wales. She is also a master trainer in adolescent health, national and international, with WHO, SERO and WPRO, FOGSI and UNFPA. She has worked on projects in adolescent health with the Government of India, WHO and FOGSI in India and the West Pacific countries, and trained for the same at University of Lausanne, Switzerland. She is also the chairperson and director, Unfold Foundation, an adolescent health initiative. Besides this, she also holds the following posts. She is member of the International Association of Adolescent Health. She is Vice President, Faridabad Obstetrics and Gynecology Society. She is the National Coordinator, Public Awareness Committee, and Executive Member, Adolescent Health Committee. Dr. Neeta is a keen advocate of preventive health, and she regularly holds numerous public health awareness programs in schools, colleges, and women's organizations. I'd now like to invite Dr. Neeta at the podium, and she'll take over the panel discussion.
Thank you, Megha, and a very warm welcome to all of you on this bright Sunday morning. It has stopped raining, and the sun is out, and the perfect opportune day to welcome all of you to this International Women's Day. So very, very warm welcome and a happy International Women's Day. The theme, incidentally, for the Women's Day, International Day, is Make It Happen. And we are all here to really make things happen for the women. And the panel discussion really is about healthcare for the 21st century for the women, challenges and solutions. And we have this really elite group of panelists who are here to discuss these solutions and the challenges today. And I would really like to thank the W Hospital and its team and Dr. Ragini for giving me the honor of conducting this panel today, because I feel that the time has come for an interface between the healthcare givers and the women of today, the empowered women of today, to know where can we help, where are we going wrong, what are the challenges you face, and how can we help. And we all, on behalf of the W team, I welcome again all of you. So I will start with our panelists without wasting any further time. I'd like to call on the dais Dr. Pratima Mittal. She is a senior gynecologist, a very good friend, and the head of Department of Gynecology at Safdarjung Hospital. She is the president-elect of the Association of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of Delhi. She is also a master trainer in adolescent health, and I would say the doyen of adolescent health care training in northern India. And she is also the executive of the Technical Resource Group, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And so she's here, she's one of the key decision makers in a lot of policies which govern women's health. Welcome, Dr. Pratima. And before we welcome the CMO who is about to come, let me call the next panelist, Mrs. Rupa Marva Bhalla. Kindly come to the dais, ma'am. She's an accomplished academician, the principal of OPY Girls School, has received several accolades in the field of education, leadership and social work. And to name a few of the awards she's had the Bharat Shiksha Ratna Award, the Mother Teresa Sadbhavna Awardee and the Indo-Asia Achievers Awardee. She's well-travelled and has an abundance of experience in molding the future leaders, and we really welcome and appreciate the fact that she's consented to be our panelist. Welcome, ma'am. I would also like to call Mrs. Aparna Lakshmi. She is the founder, secretary of Economic Liberation Foundation, also known as EcoLib. She works for the underprivileged, vulnerable and marginalized segments of the society, and she has worked with several national and international development agencies such as UNICEF, Oxfam, CARE and Giri Institute over the last 2.5 decades. She has started a Radiant Kids School for working and underprivileged children at Jharsa village, and her social work has received widespread coverage in the media. She believes in the ideals of Swami Vivekananda, and we are very happy to have her here with us. I would also like to welcome Mrs. Radhika Duggal. She is the face of the leading business woman of today. She is heading the alliances and partnership business for Kankai Direct, a leading direct marketing firm for the last 12 years. She has worked extensively in the hospitality industry, working with PR, sales and marketing functions. She is basically an alumni of the Indian Institute of Mass Communication. She's a keen enthusiast of fashion, and though she told me that don't dwell on this, I'd like very happily want to tell you that she's modeled and walked the ramp for several designer labels and also shared stage space with the late Jagjit Singh. She's also going to share the screen space with Anushka Sharma in the latest blockbuster which is coming, NH10. And we're really very happy to have this style icon here with us. Coming to the youngest of our panelists, and like Mr. Bajaj said, healthcare starts in the adolescent age group. So we have Avni Kathuria. I wouldn't say she's an adolescent, but she's this young lady. She is currently pursuing her master's in social work. She has done her BA Honours in Philosophy from Gandhi College, Delhi University, and has held key positions as the General Secretary and President of her college, participated in the awareness generation for human rights in schools in Mauritius, and she's engaged in social work with able charities where she has been appointed the General Secretary. Working towards human rights and continuing social work has directed her towards undertaking an MA in the same subject. I would also like to welcome Dr. Pushpa Bishnoi, the Senior Gynecologist and the Chief Administrative and Civil Surgeon of Gurgaon. Welcome, ma'am, to our panel. We are very happy that you are here and have spared the time to come and be a part of this luminous panel. Much. Okay. So, so what we are going to explore today is what are we going to do about where does health stand today in the world, in the eyes of an empowered woman? And my first question goes to Dr. Pratima. Dr. Pratima, in all your years of experience as a gynecologist looking at and treating women day in and day out, what are the common problems you feel today with which a woman comes to you compared to what was there yesterday? So what would you rate as what are the important problems women come with? Mic, please.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Ragini and Dr. Neeta for giving me an opportunity to talk to all this august audience. And coming to the question, what she has asked is the problems. Before problems, I always feel that women as a whole, we have to deal with all the life cycle, whole of the life cycle, starting from the adolescent to the menopause and even after menopause. So what is the problems which we come under different in the various age groups. But as far as as an obstetrician and gynecologist, my aim has been to deal with the problems later, but before that, to deal with the preventive aspects also. And our aim has been to protect the rights and to prevent the diseases and to treat the diseases. So all the three things have to be taken into consideration. And as far as the common problems are concerned, in the adolescent age groups, we have more of the problems of the menstrual irregularities, menstrual problems, hormonal problems nowadays. And when we come to the reproductive age group, again the problems of menstrual problems are always a part of the whole of the life cycle. But besides that, we have the problems of infertility, we have the problems of maternal diseases associated with pregnancies. And when we come to the perimenopausal age group, again the problems of abnormal uterine bleeding, and besides that we have the problems of cancers which are also cropping up, and after that again hormonal problems and the metabolic problems which are coming more commonly in the postmenopausal age groups. So that is the whole plethora of problems which we are facing, mainly the endocrinal problems, mainly the menstrual problems, malignancies, and the metabolic diseases.
Thank you, Dr. Pratima. That is really what I think over the years we've still seen these problems being there all the time. And we've continuously as doctors just kept on and on treating these problems, maybe in a worse or maybe a little better. But yes, these are the main issues I think which face women these days. Mrs. Aparna Lakshmi, my next question is to you. Looking at all these problems, what do you feel as a healthcare receiver or a beneficiary? What do you feel what are the various barriers that a woman faces? Like, for example, what social barriers would she face, or what psychological barriers or family pressures? Because we always see that only that women go to a hospital only when it's really a problem. So what prevents her from taking a preventive approach, and what barriers does she feel if she wants to take a medical opinion?
Speaking about the psychological barriers and the general perception of women, as much as I feel we lack a scientific approach to healthcare. India in general, people of India in general, we do not have a preventive approach. We do not take up prevention as the first step of healthcare. And we think we require medical assistance only when a problem is there, and that too when the problem is actually aggravated. We usually try, even women, we depend much on home remedies, we depend much on superstition, we depend much on heresy, and we lack a scientific approach. Scientific approach, I think, is the most important barrier which we face, which leads to many aggravated problems. And apart from that, we talk of healthcare from adolescence, but I think healthcare needs to be taken off right from the childhood. And in that respect, not only nutrition but also exercise. Exercise is a very important factor which really is the, you could say it's the wheel, it's the oiling of the wheel of a body. It's the oiling of a body which does not lead to many other complications. In fact, it lessens the frictions or the complications even during childbirth and all. People who have been a regular exerciser or who have been in regular sports, they face much more for them pregnancy and such issues in life. They are much more comfortable dealing with them. It is much easier for them, and it leads to lesser complications later in life if you are an active member, if you are an active exerciser or have a healthy lifestyle. I could say that from my own experience.
Thank you so much. But that what you brought out is a very important point. That a woman today, even now, she would resort to home remedies and hearsay, and very importantly, you have pointed out that there is a very unscientific approach. So my next question goes to our eminent educationist, Mrs. Rupa Marwa Balla. I want to ask you that does good education really empower a woman? You tell every girl to, we have this huge education cess tax, we have colleges and schools sprouting everywhere. Are we really contributing? Is an educated woman really making an empowered decision when it comes to healthcare?
Good morning, all. Actually, education is bringing about a change. Only thing is, women need to understand, come out of the family pressures, need to understand their body, take out the time for regular medical checkups, and think that their body is what is going to help the rest of the world. What is going to help the rest of the world? By this I mean, I take my own example. The moment I crossed 100 kgs, this was about 3 years ago and Dr. Chandan knows about it. I crossed 100 kgs, I was very fat, and I alone took a decision which normally people don't. And even if they take such a decision, they don't tell. Adnan Sami went through a bariatric surgery and he has been telling everybody all over the world that I have had lifestyle changes. No, I thought I have to go through a surgery like this, even if it is not very popular, even if it is risky at this stage, because people don't come out and say that yes, I've had a surgery like this. I went to Medicity, discussed with the surgeon, and within the next 2-3 days, I discussed with my son, my husband. They also agreed. I went through the bariatric surgery. It's been 3 years. I lost 50 kgs, and when I started looking very, very thin, then I tried to take high calorie food and I gained another 55 kgs. Now I'm 55. My working hours were limited up to 6 to 8 hours. Now I'm active for about 10 to 12 hours. And this is a decision I took on my own, and I feel women are empowered within our society. Only thing is, we have to spread this word outside the cities also. That if you know your own body, you have to go for regular medical checkups. Now, after losing 45 kgs, which would not have been possible otherwise, by whatever clinics, whatever diets, whatever we do, I am able to work more, and 4 things. Cancer was in my maternal family, maternal side. I have got rid of arthritis for another 10-15 years. I've got rid of heart disease. I've got rid of diabetes. They are at least 10-15 years away from me now. So this is a decision we all have to take. And I'm so happy. I wish there was a bigger crowd over here to be able to listen to all of us. And by sharing this, I have been telling everybody that I've undergone a bariatric surgery. I don't say that I go for long walks. I don't get the time. I'm very busy. As an educationist, we all know the day starts very early. We all have to be dressed up and reach the school by 7:45 to attend to the assembly. And I don't go for walks, morning or evening walks. And whatever we get to eat, pack in the tiffin and take it away. We don't get any time to think about ourselves. But such a surgery was important, which is only because of education. And I feel women are understanding their bodies and they know what is good for them.
That's really fantastic. That is really good. I think that's a very beautiful example you gave. But we come to the next. But you also mentioned that I think perhaps what holds them back from taking an empowered decision is also probably family pressures, or the social and the economic positioning. So we definitely understand that, but we would expect an educated and an empowered woman to take the right kind of steps for her health. And which brings me to Mrs. Radhika Duggal. You are a businesswoman and you work and you have a family and you take up all these challenges every day. So tell me, what health risks do you think that this challenging lifestyle, like what even Mrs. Rupa mentioned about very hectic lifestyle and family pressures and everything, do you think that there are something more specific which throw up risks with such a challenging lifestyle?
Good morning, and many thanks for having me here. I'm really wondering, the introduction that Nita gave of this dignified panel, what am I really doing here with all the laurels that are attached to each one of you. So thank you. So I'm no different in a lot of ways, than people sitting in the audience and in the panel with regards work, home, managing everything. And to my mind, really, challenges which actually such a new age life poses to working women who manage homes, who are juggling with careers, family commitments, growing up children, the challenges of teenage children, is really stress which comes. I mean, it's a very natural phenomenon which really comes in. And stress is primarily because of paucity of time, ineffective time management, despite the fact that we want to do it well, but we're not able to do it well often. And also, the demands of deadlines at work, at home, pressures of family, social commitments. So stress is something which really, bogs you down, and with stress, basically the whole life stage just, comes down. So you have mental and emotional discomfort. You just don't feel happy about many things. You're irritable, and then of course that leads to many other health hazards which come with stress.
So what do you expect? So if you say that it is stress, posed to a health caregiver, what would you say? Like, what would you need? What would anyone who's working so much need from a health caregiver?
So yes, before we even go to the health caregiver, I think one really needs to analyze your own lifestyle and try and make some lifestyle shifts and changes to see what are the areas that determine, which are really bogging you down and how you can handle it. It's a personal need for everyone. And at that point in time, if there's somebody that, which is like a health giver, who's easily accessible, who's there when you need them most, and not because there is an appointment time only given between an 8 in the evening, 8 in the morning to a 6 in the evening, because that may not agree with you. You may want to reach out to somebody who's available to talk to you, to even discuss, just to make you feel comfortable and make you understand that, this can be handled. Access, the comfort factor of trying to reach someone and somebody being able to talk to you. I think that really plays a very, very important role in today's, working women, who do face these kind of challenges.
So let me get back to Dr. Pratima. She said stress. So do you think stress is a precipitator or one of the important things which we need to address while treating a woman? I'd also like to ask Dr. Pushpa that, when you see women in your clinic, in OBS and gynae, how much of a role does stress play in diseases of the women and this hectic lifestyle? How much does it contribute, and how much do we as doctors are able to actually address this issue of stress?
Good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry that I'm having the difficulty. So I've been advised to talk less by my own husband, who is a ENT specialist.
Just keep that mic a little close, madam.
I just welcome and congratulate W. Pratiksha for bringing up this nice concepts of a hospital which will provide adolescent as well as maternal and child health services. And as regards the stress, it plays a very important role nowadays because we are having nuclear families. So there is a stress of women at a workplace as well as about her children. This is a very big point that this step is a very strong that they are having a stress just on the basis of this fact that the child is away. Initially we were having a joint family, so we were relaxed. As I give my example that I am a working woman, so I left my child to my mother, but though he was away from me, but I was satisfied that he is in safe hands, and the moral values which the child gets from her these grandparents is a major factor. Nowadays the children are becoming more and more violent, and they are becoming demanding just because we are not able to give them the time, and just because of this that we are not able to give them the time to our children, the women is under stress. This is what I would like.
Dr. Pratima would like to add something to it.
Actually, if you look at our anatomy and physiology, hypothalamus, the brain, which is under control of all our emotions, play a very, very important role in release of all the hormones. So, and whatever our habits are, under stress, some people try to eat more. So, obesity, origin of obesity, again, origin of so many medical disorders is just because of stress, because the hormones which are produced are either not produced in harmony with each other, and that's leading to all the problems.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pratima. So we don't want to leave the youngsters behind. And to Avni, I'd like to ask one thing. Your generation is the generation of tomorrow, the generation of tomorrow's women. In your work and your perception, what are the emerging health risks or health issues actually among the young adults of young adult women of today? And what challenges do they face when asking for health care?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here as a panelist. And as everybody mentioned, like what are the issues that emerge during adolescence and as young adults? Basically, after I worked in slums and with adolescents and young adults, the girl faces so many issues about there because there is no dialogue between them and there is nobody to give information about healthcare. So there are issues coming up about periods and they have urinary infections which they do not know about. And after all the surveys I've conducted in slums, so basically these young girls start working in slums working in houses at a very small age, and they don't know and they don't have any information about all of these things. And the youngsters, if I speak to my friends, they feel that they are not comfortable going to a doctor and thinking that what will the doctor feel about my issues. And if they see all around pregnant and lactating mothers coming to the doctor,
Just continue. Go on.
so they feel that they would not feel comfortable and with the doctor, and maybe there is not a level of trust maintained between the doctor and people like us. And about the married ladies, they are mostly dependent on mother-in-laws and mothers. But the issues that come up with this, like in adolescence, there are issues like alcohol and drugs. And when alcohol is a major concerning issue, if the consumption of alcohol, it starts with, and then it results into unsafe sex. So people do not have information about contraceptions, and then this leads to many problems.
Yeah, thank you so much, Avni. You've brought out a lot of problems, which I think are all faced across all the sections of society. And I think when we look at the young girl who's going out to the college to be educated, or whether she's working in a slum, I think they all face the same barriers. And I'd like to ask Mrs. Rupa Balla that, what do you think, what should be then the strategy of education in schools and colleges? And since we in the W Hospital has so many CSR activities, and we've also been conducting a lot of awareness programs, what you as an educationist look forward to having in your school or your college, or in your experience in terms of healthcare? Because she's mentioned some very pertinent things like alcohol, drugs, and I think it's really not this thing anymore. It's not a barrier anymore for anybody to get a hold of alcohol or drugs, whether she's in a college or school or whether it's in the slum. And it's a problem which we all are going to face with all our teenage children in the futures to come. We're really going to have a lot of problems in these areas. So what would you as an educationist want from us or from a healthcare people, or what would you like to do about this?
Most importantly, parents need to be counseled, and sensitization towards issues like these should be done by every good school. Class 6 onwards, boys and girls should be sensitized towards what is happening in the world, how they have to maintain mutual respect. All good teachers at like what CBSE or our All India curriculum is incorporating into life skills being a part of every subject at every age. This issue should be brought into by every teacher as moral education and life skills. It's now teachers are being trained to incorporate in every lesson that you teach, in every subject, at every age, whatever you teach. So sensitization towards all this should be done right from class 6 onwards, especially class 9, 10, 11, 12, girls and boys should be sensitized to what is happening outside the nest. Once they step out of the nest, what all are they going to face? What is the difference between good and bad, right and wrong should be taught at school level, which is not available in any textbooks. It is not available in any textbooks, but all good schools, teachers should be trained by the principals, and principal makes the character of the school, and teachers should be trained to deal with all this with every age group in the school.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It should start at school level. We should not wait for a problem to happen and then see a specialist. Once the children are out of the nest, out of class 12, they should be aware of what all they are going to face in the outside world. They are very, very protected, very, very sheltered while they are in school.
So Avni, I'd like to ask you, what is the source of healthcare information among the youngsters? Is it the media, or is it the peer group, or is it the parents? What would you say if I ask you to classify whether media or peer group or the parents? Whom would a young person like you go to if she has an issue which she feels, like you rightly mentioned, that there is this little hesitation in walking up to a clinic, and among all the pregnant women and all, you want to go there and you're wondering whether the doctor will really pay attention to you. So what would you rate as the first person whom a young person goes to?
It's Google.
Okay, so it's Google, right? It's the net. And do you get the right information on the net?
Not the right information, but yes, a generalized information. So basically, there are questions put up by all the teenagers and youngsters among, in the world, among the world. So you get generalized answers, and then the second best thing you can do is you can ask and you can put up questions in your peer group. And the last thing you come to is like your parents or a counselor if you feel, because there are sometimes the parents are not broad-minded, so they feel little hesitation about asking questions to them.
Or maybe the parents are not informed enough.
And they are not also very well educated. Google is in English, and of course not all know English. They know very basic English. So for them, what is a fallback for educational queries? Whom do they go to? They actually have nobody to go to. They don't have any redressal forum. And I think that is the largest lacune all over India in all sectors, that there is a very big gap between Bharat and India. And we have to bridge that gap. All
Absolutely.
intellectuals, we have
Absolutely.
to bridge that gap. Everybody who has something to give back to society, whether it is through their brain power, it is through their manpower, or through their money. All of us need to do that. We need जो अपना समय नहीं भी दे सकते. Sorry, I'm speaking in Hindi.
Please,
But,
most welcome.
I'm very much a grassroots person. जो अपना समय नहीं दे सकते, जो अपना धन नहीं दे सकते, जो अपना मन नहीं दे सकते, वो कुछ ना कुछ सुंदर बात, अच्छी बात किसी के साथ जरूर कर सकते हैं. अब उनके मन के भाव या अपने मन के भाव आप जरूर किसी से बांट सकते हैं. और ये जो फॉलबैक है, जो हम पहले हमारी जो हम लोग जॉइंट फैमिली में रहते थे, वो अब नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी हम एक दूसरे का संबल बन सकते हैं. सपोर्ट ग्रुप वी कैन स्टिल फॉर्म. एंड आई थिंक थ्रू योर CSR also, which you mentioned, not only just awareness, we do need a very strong follow-up policy, a very strong backup policy. सिर्फ awareness से नहीं होगा. उन ग्रुप को जाके कि आपने एक प्रोग्राम किया है, उसका नतीजा क्या है, what is the result. We have to do that. We have to do a follow-up program and we have to address that. अगर हम खुद नहीं कर सकते तो हमको कोई सुझाव देने चाहिए कि आप इनसे मिलिए, ये आपको ज़रूर मदद करेंगे.
Thank you. Very well said, madam. So, that is a very, very valid point, and we really take it very well, because it's very, very important that when you do an awareness activity, you follow it up with some action. Awareness should be followed by action. Which brings us to a little different question which I have for the panel now, is that you're most welcome. We don't have one panelist, we have one panelist short, but yes, all of us are mothers here, yeah? And there are the to-be mothers and there are mothers here. And I just wanted to ask, starting from the doctors, what challenges does being a mother or motherhood face today for the modern woman? Being a mother in say 20 years back was something different. Even later was a big challenge, and it still is a challenge. If you look at the maternal mortality statistics, India is still way behind a lot of other countries, a lot of other developing countries. So, but to the modern woman, what changes has being a mother or getting into motherhood, what challenges does she face today?
Again, I will talk in terms of the health surfaces, basically health related issues. So mother faces the challenge, first of all, lack of information. She does not have proper information, and the information which is available on the net, as she said, and other sources are so vast and so broad, but authenticity of that information is not there. So she really does not know what is right, what is wrong. Secondly, the age at which what information to be given to her children. Like she herself doesn't know what is the right age at what information I should be giving, especially regarding the sexual and reproductive health problems, which are very, very sensitive issues. And even as a mother, you are not able to talk to your boys and your children, your girl students also about the sexuality issues, and they get a wrong information, which really leads to a lot of problems. And thirdly is to even the confidence in the healthcare provider. They are not having the confidence of the healthcare provider that whatever information they will be, even if they need any knowledge or any support, well, will their adolescent or their children or her own problem, like even regarding contraception and other MTP services, whether she will be getting it in a privacy will be maintained, her confidentiality will be maintained, that also is a great challenge. And besides that, again, we have to really understand that all the doctors or all the healthcare providers should not be maintaining any discrimination. At times, the poor people feel that they are discriminated. They are not getting the right services which they should be needed. So whenever we talk of the women, I always base my services on three aspects. One is promote health. That means all the preventive services, giving them immunization, giving them anemia, basic problem of anemia we are not able to address. Then good health, good diet. Then coming to the, protecting their rights. We have to protect the rights of the woman. She should be available, she should be having services available to her, all type of services, treatment, and best of the treatment available should be offered to her without any discrimination. And her right to plan her health, plan her pregnancy, plan her health services, where to go, all should be her own right.
So you mean to say we should have a very comprehensive healthcare plan for a woman,
Yes.
right from the time she wants to conceive or even thinks of conceiving, because as Dr. Bajaj mentioned, marriages are happening late, so the planning for having a child comes in very late. The problems of infertility have really surfaced very much, and we need to make this awareness, what you are talking about, this awareness, we need to take this awareness to the woman right at her doorstep. And I just wanted to know from the panel, what role would media play in dispersing this kind of information? Does media play a responsible role? Does media play a very confidential role, or is it very, very clear to a person? You pick up the paper and you learn about some new service. How authentic is the information? Or would you like to really have a dialogue with the healthcare provider regarding that? Or would you think it has that would be the authentic news?
To my mind, I think media has to be far more responsible. Because
Absolutely,
sometimes,
absolutely,
what
responsible.
is really happening is they just pick up on one particular, subject,
Absolutely.
and I think it just gets a little out of control and perhaps exploited to a large extent. The way it's portrayed, whether it is on electronic media, whether it's papers. So not that I'm taking away what media does in terms of creating awareness, but the source of responsibility, or the sense of responsibility should come with getting any information across has to be far more serious. To my mind, I think when there is a dialogue, there's a lot of authenticity, there is a lot of trust that gets built.
It's just that media has to be far more responsible in how they portray or disseminate any information. Thank you so much. I think you brought out a very pertinent point that, so basically the media has to be responsible. So the source has to be very authentic. And as you rightly said, Radhika, I think all the panelists would agree with me that a dialogue, an interface, a dialogue between the healthcare givers and the beneficiaries would be a much better way. And we hope that W Hospital keeps conducting these panels on in the future on maybe selected topics which you would like us to speak about. And thank you so much for that. Towards the end, I just want to have one more question, since we have about 2-3 minutes with us. As we grow older, we compare ourselves to our dadis and nanis, our mothers-in-law, our mothers and all that. And there is this new adage, or a new, I wouldn't say it's a new, but yes, it's a new concept that 50 is the new 40. I don't know how many of you would agree with that, that yes, being in your 50s is akin to what it was some years back in the 40s. So 50 is the new 40. What does the panel think? Do you think that yes, being older is not a very big challenge today? This is a very lighter moment, because I'm sure everybody's WhatsApps are buzzing this morning with Women Day messages. It's been coming non-stop. So I just had to read this out because it just came, and while Geeta is saying 50s is the new 40s, there's one message which has come which says 7 stages in a woman's life: infant, baby, miss, young woman, again young woman, always young woman, forever young woman. Forever young woman, yes. Just so add that it really caught my attention, and just because Nita said about the 50s being the new 40s, so this couldn't be more apt. So I think young woman, yes. So I think, Agni, you don't have to worry about getting older, you being the youngest, and I think healthcare is also so much geared to put you back in place. And like Mrs. Rupa mentioned about exercise, and as Mrs. Aparna mentioned about the physical activity part of it. So I think that does that stand true, Dr. Pratibha? Would you like to say that no, our chronological age does take us to some problems which we should be aware about as a doctor? What would you like to tell the 50-year-old who wants to be 40, look 40, behave 40? What would you advise her? What care would you advise the postmenopausal woman or the menopausal or perimenopausal woman?
The 3 most important things: exercise, diet as universal, and regular health checkups.
Absolutely. And what would you say among regular health checks? What care would you like to tell each one of these beautiful women present today?
Again, regular health checkups will be very different from the adolescent and middle age.
Yeah, but are we talking about the perimenopausal age group? I can see most of the older age group, I would say, the mature age group here, So what would you like to tell them?
So the mature age group, mainly to detection of the diseases at the earliest, so that the treatment can be provided, and before that the preventive aspects have to be taken into account. And I would
bone health and
and most important, that your family is important, everybody else is important, but you are the most important. So
absolutely,
you have to bother about yourself first, then only you can bother about your family. So, and preventive aspects, as we have said, that we have to get the checkups done for sugar, for thyroid, for your lipid profile, and besides that, for cancer detection, early cancer detection, mainly of the cervix, mainly of the breast cancers, which can be really detected earlier, and we can be really giving them a remedial treatment for that.
Thank you so much. So, as a parting shot, I would request each panelist, what is a message today then you would like to give to the woman? In one short line, what message would each one of you like to leave our audience with?
I have just turned 50 this year, and I don't feel more than 35.
Wow.
As I told you earlier, my work energy was for 6 to 8 hours. It's around 10 to 12 hours, which is incredible. I do not focus on my diet. I don't have the time for exercise. It's all in your mind. And as an independent woman, my family does not interfere. I have to look after my sleep pattern, that's it. I sleep well and I work well, and I feel very happy.
So one message you want to leave our audience with, what would you like to tell them today?
It's your life.
Live it up.
It's your life. You spend it the way you want it to be. And if God willing, you will all have the empowerment to be able to live your life. And as doctor said, if you are able to look after yourself, you'll be able to look after the rest around you.
Thank you.
That is the most important thing. I pray every day, God look after me so that I am able to look after everybody else around me. Thank you so much. It
Thank
was a
you.
beautiful morning.
Thank you. Mrs. Aparna, what would you like to
I would like to say that we don't, none of us live in a vacuum, and we get back what we sow. So every body is like a porous membrane. So we have to radiate as well as absorb. So radiate good and absorb good. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Radhika, what would you like to say?
It's all about an attitude that you really, bring about yourself. It's how you perceive or conceive life. It's for an attitude shift as well. And my message is that seek help whenever you need it. Just don't deny yourself help. Anytime, you are the focus and seek help.
Thank you so much. That's lovely. Avni, what would you like to tell us?
It's your life, make it large. And secondly, I would like to share a quote.
Yeah, please do that.
She makes broken look beautiful and strong look invincible. She walks through the universe on her shoulders and makes it look like a pair of wings.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think it's been an excellent panel. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank each panelist of mine for sparing this lovely Sunday morning and coming and sharing their ideas and their personal experiences with us. Thank you so much. I'd like to then give handover to Megha. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are also planning to, we also would welcome questions from you. If there are any questions, any queries, the panelists would be, I would request them to sit there and we would like to answer your queries. And I'd like to invite Dr. Ragini, the director of the hospital, to come on the dais, and maybe we could take questions if we have. Do we have some questions? So any of you would like to make a comment or make a point?
Yeah, this is about the role of media actually we're discussing. It plays a very important role in our lives nowadays. As she rightly mentioned, so all teenagers will first of all Google the thing to find out what exactly is going on in their minds. So as mother, I would want to make one comment that mothers should know how to deconstruct media, because whatever information is being displayed on media is not always correct. It's most of the time it's erroneous, and whatever we are seeing in TV and internet is usually sex and violence being displayed like that. So as mothers, it's very important to be sensitive to those issues and deconstruct media in the right way. To be with them and still not to be totally with them is important. Like to be with the media and still deconstructing media is very important.
So that's a wonderful comment, deconstruct the media.
Yes, it's important to deconstruct the media myths.
Media myths. Yeah. This is somebody else who wanted to make a point. Yeah, we welcome a male viewpoint.
Like Madam told about sex education or the different term family skills education, etc. But there is nothing much is happening in spite of it. It has been a lot of quite controversial topic. But what is the way you want to implement in fact, which is a very essential thing.
Actually, Dr. Pratima, I think you would be the right person to answer this.
As far as government perspective is concerned, most of the schools, now they have got the syllabus to have the life skill education classes in all the schools. And from the health point of view, all the major hospitals are conducting special sessions for the adolescent children in the schools. And my aim has been to, ask all the doctors all the gynecologists as well as the pediatrician to adopt at least one school. If they adopt one school, then they, as their point was taken, that they can go through the whole journey of their children in that school. You know, they can follow up the children, they can do whatever they want to teach, tell them, give them information, treat them if there is any problem. So that is the best idea, is to let them adopt one school. Each gynecologist, each doctor should adopt one school at least.
In this aspect, I will like to I have conducted seminar for schools in Assam, but the main problem here comes first. We educate children, but once they go home, even their parents, they don't know. I think we should start with the parents first.
Parenting classes.
Because even we as a medico, in the medical colleges, we didn't have any this topic on sexuality, sexual medicine or like that. So even we as a doctor, we are much ignorant about it.
Actually, this thing is coming up now. It is being introduced into the undergraduate curriculum and the postgraduate curriculum of the colleges, MBBS course. And we are conducting even training for the interns. Now, interns are being trained. And besides that, you know, all the schools have to have this part of this adolescent friendly health services. All the states doctors, all the doctors in the secretariats have been trained with the training of trainers have been done for all the state health providers. And when they have been trained, that they have to implement it to the prime 3 level. So it will take time, but definitely all the states of India will be covered under this program. That is called RKSK, Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya कार्यक्रम.
Yeah.
I just want to add one thing.
I have two daughters. One is 9 years old and another is 5. So is there any scientifically any particular age when you're actually starting to tell them the differences and about sex education? And another thing I wanted to mention to this youngest panelist, I'm sorry I can't get your name.
Avni.
Avni, regarding broad-minded parents. I'll tell you something, I'm not regarding narrow-minded or broad-minded parents. It's just a matter of how you communicate with your parents and the level of comfort and the level of openness that you have, and which I'm sure even the parents should encourage, that it's not only their children but that they also their friends. It's not that they are not really thinking bad about it. So I think the broad-minded is a term that is
But the onus is on the parents to appear broad-minded, and then you have to ask you have to know what is the definition.
What she thinks they are.
Absolutely. So see, you know, the onus becomes on the parent to break down this barrier of the narrow-mindedness and all. And believe me, there are a lot of other things which go into making somebody a broad-minded parent or a narrow-minded parent, you know.
So if they are saying something is not correct, then they have to prove their points to the children why they feel it is not correct.
It's all about perception and the way things are communicated. I think the
Right,
whole thing
right,
is about,
exactly.
it's not about broad-minded or
Exactly.
narrow-minded. It's an open communication and you are a comfort, then
Yes, a comfort level.
you're the broadest minded,
Exactly.
others. But it's all about how.
Yeah, but that was just one.
I wanted to add for this gentleman from Assam, as far as doctors are concerned, as ma'am rightly said, that it is becoming every doctor's duty to adopt schools. That comes much later. It is every teacher or every head of institution, good schools, must guide their teachers to counsel the parents. As I said earlier also, the parents, like this lady just mentioned, parents are also not trained that a daughter of 9-year-old or a daughter of 14-year-old, at what age she has to tell what. That comfort level or how approachable a mother is or a child is or a father is to the children, that also needs to be counseled by the teachers of good schools. It becomes the moral duty of every school in the growing years. Not when you have a problem and then you go to the hospital. All that comes later. Media comes later. Doctors' advice comes later. It is all in the school. A good school should take the onus on themselves that they are able to make the difference between, give the difference between good and bad. I got, like Radhika read in the morning, I got this also on International Women's Day, this very brief statistics. I'll just read it to you. Country is India, population is 1.2 billion, rapes per year is 24,000. 1.2 billion population in India, rapes per year is 24,000. USA, A country with only 0.3 billion population, rapes per year 83,400. And then how many documentaries did you see on BBC airing worldwide on Women's Day, preaching USA on its social system? Rapes are a shame, but propaganda is even worse.
Yeah.
So India is still not loose on its values, and that is why the Indian education system is now, earlier when we were small, we used to have moral science as a subject, or moral education. Now it's no more there, it's not active. The Indian education system says morals and life skills should be taught in school from side by side. It should be incorporated with every subject at every age. That is most important. When I passed out of school, I was a non-medical student, and my husband sent me a draft from Dubai. He was working there. I was just 19 and just got married. I did not know, because I never studied commerce, I did not know what to do with this document. My father and my mother-in-law had gone to work. My father and my mother had gone to work. I didn't know document आया सुबह receive किया. I didn't know अब मैं इसको बैंक लेके जाऊँ क्या करूँ. I had a bank account, but I didn't know कि उस ड्राफ्ट से पैसे कैसे मिलेंगे. I only had to give it over the counter and the money would have gone into my account. So those are life skills. When my son moved from class 11 to 12, I started telling him, now you are going to go out of the nest. Now start learning lessons of life, which are not taught in any books. Those are lessons of life. In road safety, India has so many accidents. Road safety, we only learn from childhood. Zebra crossing, red, yellow, green light. Look left, right, left, and then cross the road. Besides this, nothing is being taught in any of our curriculum on road safety. That is why rash driving.
Right.
So now you understand how important school education is, that we all know. But school education and the responsibility, not only doctors come later in our life, it is the teachers who need to drill everything into the students' heads.
We have a question from...
Yes, it's not exactly a question, it's just a point of view. You see, we have spoken about rapes just 2 minutes before, and before that we have spoken about schools and adolescents.
Just put it close to your mouth.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes.
We have just spoken about rapes. They happen the world over. And as you very correctly brought out, much hoo-ha is made when it happens in India, the rape of and they are much heinous compared to what has happened. The Nirvya case you all know about, which has been talked about so much in the media. And we spoke about the part adolescent sex education and schools play. But we must remember the first teacher is parents. We have assaults on 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds. They must be taught to differentiate between good touch and bad touch. Most of the rapes happen in family members. So finally the mothers and parents are the first teachers. And we should not just palm off the responsibility to schools and socialists.
And I think for this, I'd like to invite Dr. Ragini. So to talk about, we have one more question, a male viewpoint, yes, absolutely. And then we have asked.
This is not a question, I just got a point written by a fully married woman. I think you all will like it. He didn't like the casserole and he didn't like my cake. He said my biscuits were too hard, not like his mother used to make. I didn't make the coffee right, he didn't like my stew. I didn't fold his pants the way his mother used to do. I pondered for an answer. I was looking for a clue. And then I turned around and smacked the shit out of him like his mother used to do.
Yeah! Wonderful, thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we have very enlightened and empowered men in this audience. I'd like to request Dr. Ragini now to say a few words and talk about also the adolescent program which you're going to have.
I have one more question. I just want to add to this gentleman that it's very right upon message. You are treating the patient, but after that, when he is going home, like in administration, you are treating, you become okay. But after going home, they are still poor. So they can't get those diet and others. So what are you going to do? Because you treat in this hospital.
That is the economic problem.
So dear friends, I have listened all the questions from the dais and of the dais, and the answer is W, which is for you as a philosophy. We are not here only to treat the patient as a disease, but we are going to do, and we are dreaming to do something more with your help, because one person cannot do all the things. And this panel discussion, as the opening of the hospital, is a platform to bring the like-minded people, and we will join together the hand. And I'm very happy to tell you, the first time in the private hospital, we are going to have a full-fledged adolescent medicine department. And our all four partners, four doctors in the team. One is Dr. Neeta. She is a WHO consultant for the adolescent medicine. Dr. Savita Chaudhary. She is again trained adolescent medicine expert. We have Dr. Chandan. She has done a WHO training for the adolescent medicine. And our psychologist, she is a PhD in psychology. And our Dr. Munia Bhattacharya. So along with them, and my teacher, Dr. Pratima, she is the one who has put the foundation of the adolescent health in India, and the SHAN program is by her. So along with her guidance, we are going to do a lot of things, because what we believe that these are the young ones where we have to make the difference. So, or the gender bias, we believe in the gender equality. When we teach our young ones for this, only then we are able to negate this crime against women and the female feticide. So please join us in our fete and be a partner with all our community outreach program with us. Thank you very much.
One thing I want to say that, as she has mentioned, that follow-up is very much necessary. We have done some workshops with you in the school, adolescent problems. But I also agree that because I was also a psychologist, I am also a psychologist, and I was doing counseling in government schools. That the students, especially girls, don't come forward even with their problems. So there should be a very strong rapport between the girls and the counselor. So not only one workshop is not enough for them. In one workshop we should make some rapport, and after that in privacy we could contact her. But for that a regular day should be fixed in the school there where the doctor or the psychologist may go there and discuss with their problems. That is much more important. Only doing the workshops, it is not
This is the answer which by when we are having this adolescent clinic daily, between the 3 to 5 when these adolescents are free. And not only this, we are coming with a specialized clinic for the women where they talk one-to-one to the doctor for their problem like diabetes, like PCOD, like menopause. So you cannot talk to a doctor in the busy OPD. There we can only write the prescription. So it is a philosophy with which we are coming with the W hospital. This is something which is, we have to talk to the education department. This is not in our hand. What we can do, that we can promise only. Yeah.
Government has fixed a day for Wednesday has been fixed in most of the states. Actually, government has fixed a, they have started all the adolescent friendly health clinics in all the states. And all the places, at least generally Wednesday has been fixed 2 to 4 p.m. for most of the adolescent clients. So it has been fixed by the government, but how far it is being practically done is a real so that's it.
Yeah, so I think the schools also will have to take up that initiative of encouraging the students to take help.
So at the end, I want to thank you all. You have taken your time out on a Sunday. So many thanks to all of you, and over to the Mega.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible? Okay. So, as the panel discussion draws to a conclusion, I would like to thank everyone for being here. Thank you to all the panelists. Thank you to our moderator, Dr. Neeta, and thank you to the wonderful audience, our distinguished guests, I think who've been a very self-motivated, very participative audience. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to request our doctors to felicitate our panelists. I would request Dr. Nidhi. I request you to felicitate Dr. Pratima. We have here a token of validation. Thank you, Dr. Nidhi. Can I request Dr. Savita? I request you to felicitate Mrs. Rupa Villa. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. Thank you. May I request Dr. Yadav to Mrs. Radhika Dubey.
Can we have a nice